Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. In today's episode I'm going to show you how to replace the front brake pads along with the front brake disc from a Ford Focus from the year 2000 to 2010. As you can see, here are my parts which I'm going to install today, and this job can be done everywhere. It's a very simple job, but you have to do it correctly. You have to make sure that you are tightening everything, because when you are working with parts which are operating the braking elements, you have to do a good job because you don't want to have any problem with the braking system. So as always, what we have to do first is to remove the front wheel. Okay, so with the wheel removed, all you have to do next is to remove this metal clip from the top of the caliper, from the face of the caliper. You'll have a metal bracket which you'll have to undo. You'll have to pull from the metal bracket until it will come out from its place, because this metal bracket is holding the caliper mounted onto the caliper mounting bracket. Because if you don't have this clip, if you don't have this metal wire, doesn't matter on how you want to call it, the caliper will not fit properly and it will not do a good job. So just make sure that you remove it and you install it later back as it was before. After that you'll have to take a flat screwdriver and remove the plastic caps which are covering the bolts from behind the caliper. So you'll have two plastic caps on each side, on each caliper. So you'll have two on this side, two on the other side, and it's the same for the rear. Okay, after that you'll have to find a specific key which work for your type of bolt. In my case, this is the tool which I need, and probably on your case you will also need this tool. And after that you'll be able to remove the bolts from the caliper very easy. Just follow what I'm doing here. You don't want to put a lot of force. Depending on how tight the bolts was in the past, you will remove them easy or you will remove them a little bit harder. After that, when you're done with removing the bolts from the caliper, you'll have to take your flat screwdriver and just pry open a little the caliper, because you want to push a little bit the piston back into the caliper, because in this way you'll remove them very easy. And you can also use this method to push the piston back, but this method is working only if you don't have a caliper press. But in my case I have everything I need, and I will show you how to press the piston and how to push it back into the piston, into the caliper, very easy with a caliper press. Okay, from here, after that you only have to pull out all the brake pads. I already removed the brake disc very easy, as you saw me earlier, and to remove the brake pads you only have to pull them out from the caliper. And in this car, as you all can see, the protection dust from around the piston, it's in good condition, but I don't know why it has some air build up inside. So I will show you later how to remove the air and how to lubricate the piston. Okay, right now, if you have a piston press, if you have a caliper press, you'll have to use it like this. You have to put it inside with the specific top part. In my case, this is the top part for this kind of piston from this kind of caliper, and you'll have to tighten it inside, and after that you'll have to tighten it by hand. In some cases it will work very easy if the piston is in a good condition, but in some cases the piston can be stuck, and this is why the car always heat up. This is why the brake disc and the brake pads always heat up, and the car is feeling that it's not going smoothly, and this is one of the problems that you may have. Okay, after you're done with pushing the piston all the way back into the caliper, you'll have to clean the area very good. In my case, as I said earlier, I have some air build up inside the protection dust from the piston, as you can see, and in order to remove it you'll have to lift up the protection. You'll have to lubricate the area. I'm going to use some WD-40 to lubricate the area, and after that I'm going to spray everything and clean everything out, and it will be like a new caliper. Just follow what I'm doing from here, because it's very simple and anyone can do it if you have a little skills and if you take some patience from your time. One thing I want to recommend you guys, if you are working with pistons from the calipers, just make sure you don't destroy the rubber from around the piston. Make sure you don't break the protection dust from the piston, because if you break it, the dust will go inside the piston and it will destroy your piston in the long time run. As you all can see, now everything is looking very good, everything is perfectly, it's ready for the new brake pads and for the new brake disc. And before installing the new brake disc, I recommend to take a wire brush and clean the hub very good, clean the area on which the brake disc will fit, because otherwise in the long time run the brake disc will be stuck onto the hub, and you don't want this. You want to clean the area very good, you want to lubricate the area with some copper paste, and after that you'll be good to go. From here, just follow what I'm doing because it's a very easy job and anyone can do it. So stay tuned guys, just look at me and look how I'm doing. Right now I'm putting some copper paste because I love to put some copper paste onto the parts, and especially onto the parts on which I replaced or on which I'm working on. So with the new brake disc, as you all can see, always the brake disc will came with some type of lubricant on them, because this lubricant helps them to not rust onto the road or onto the shells. And after that you want to clean them, and only after you clean the brake disc you'll be able to put it very good, because otherwise the brake will not be as powerful as it should be. So with the new brake pads, this is how it's looking. The part on which the brake pad has some metal behind it always goes inside the caliper. So this kind of brake pad, this one goes inside the caliper. Just figure out on which side you have to put it. So this is the correct position, you'll have to put it like this. And after that the other brake pad will go onto the face of the caliper, this one. And for this kind of vehicle you'll have to push it down onto the caliper until the brackets from behind the brake pads will stay fit onto the caliper. So just look at this, this is how they should be installed. And after that you only have to put them back and tighten everything as it was before. From here just follow me, because it's also very simple as I said earlier. You don't have to pay mechanics, you don't have to pay anyone to do it, because if you take your time and if you have time to do it yourself, because you will do a better job than anyone else, because it's your car. You will take your time to clean everything, you will take your time to do everything good, because you don't want to do a bad job on your car. One thing you have to do next is to lubricate the top part of the bolts which are holding the caliper mounted onto the caliper mounting bracket. You don't want to lubricate the threads. If you want, you can use some thread locker onto the threads, some blue thread locker, or you can also use some red thread locker. But if you don't have it, just to use some Vaseline onto the top part of the bolts, because it will make them slide easier and it will not make them be stuck in the long time run onto the caliper. After that you can go ahead and tighten everything back together as it was before. Don't tighten them too much, you have to tighten them until you feel a little resistance. Don't try to over tighten them, because if you over tighten them you will destroy the threads, and this is not good when you are working with braking systems. So after you feel a little resistance from the bolts, you will have to stop and move forward. Just don't over tighten, because it's a very important thing. Just take that in mind. Okay, that's perfectly. Sorry guys for the sounds my dog made earlier. I'm outside when I'm editing this video, and my dog is also outside, and I can't do nothing about this. This is how it's looking, this is how you have to do it. Like I said earlier, I like to put some copper grease onto the parts, because in this way the parts will not be stuck in the long time run. Always make sure that you are using some brake cleaner. If you are using some sort of lubricant onto the parts, just clean the area on which the brake pads and the brake disc it's functioning. This is all you have to do. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video and found it informative, please leave a like and a comment down below. See you next time.